folks, welcome to Guitar Daily. It's Nick Granville coming to you from Wellington, New Zealand. So today I thought I'd talk about stacking overdrive pedals. One of my favourite things to do, and you get some unique kind of results. I thought I'd give some thoughts and some kind of processes about how I go about selecting which pedal to stack. I have a whole heap of guitar pedals, overdrives, so it can sometimes be a tough decision. So recently did this show We Will Rock You, and I had my FM3, and then I had this small pedal board here running into the FM3, mostly because I wanted a bit of kind of manual control on pedals, but I stacked overdrives quite a bit, right, to be able to get that sound. And the two that I stacked the most were the Dude pedal and the OCD, and there's some reasons for that. I'll show you these individually. Hopefully this doesn't fall off. Come on. So here's my clean tone. I mean, I've just left it on that. There's a little bit of delay and a bit of verb, but otherwise it's a Fender type amp, pretty clean. So here's the Dude on its own. It's kind of dark, kind of mid-rangey, right? And then here's the OCD on its own. So definitely more scooped mid, and that's kind of my process. Is to me, it's stacking overdrives and them working together is all about the EQ more than anything else. It also changes which order you put them in, right? I tend to put my lower drive pedal first, and then my more overdriven one the second, and but experiment with it because you'll find you'll get different results. But this is clean, Dude, and then OCD. And I find you get a lot more sustain and almost sort of feedback happening, even though I'm not running an amp right now, I'm running a modeler, right? And so why are you getting feedback? Well, I think what happens is this pedal essentially boosts what's going into this one. So the response of this pedal is quite different because it's getting hit hard with another overdrive pedal, right? So when I do this, I tend to select one that's more, say, mid-range heavy and one that's more scooped. That can actually work quite well with a pedal like this too, which is a Tubescreamer type clone. That's the classic, right? So let's try that. So let's go OCD. This is version 1.6, by the way, which is a fantastic overdrive pedal, kind of crunchy, Marshall-esque. I actually prefer that with the gain up a touch. Sorry about that. Fantastic. Bulletproof too, these things, you know. And let's put the Tubescreamer into it. So in that case, what I'm doing is I'm using the Tubescreamer to my advantage in terms of its EQ. So one of the things with the Tubescreamer, what they do is they have a real thick mid-range and they tend to wind off bottom end. And, you know, ordinarily that would kind of be a problem, right? You end up with this thinner mid-range honky kind of tone. And especially if you use a tweed amp like I do a lot of the time, like my Victorias are tweed amps. That have a lot of mid-range already, that can be a real problem. But in this case, you've got a pedal that's probably a little more mid-scooped, generally speaking, and then you're running a mid-boosted pedal. So again, the EQ just works really well together. I find it best to not run the drive too hot. Right there. So there's a point when it just kind of blooms, right? If I go right there. The only reason I used three drive pedals on that show was I wanted to have one pedal, which was this one, which was exclusively for the song called Crazy Little Thing Called Love. So I had that set. I actually didn't stack that pedal at all in the show. I kind of set it about here. And I did. Let's go ahead. Which kind of, with this one guitar coil tapped, got me in the ballpark of kind of the telly sound with that, because again it thins out the sound. So I used the EQ of that, and then I stacked these two. This pedal here was probably the one I used the most because it has that thick mid-range thing that Brian May does, and then I stacked this on top of it when I needed more drive, like the tune Innuendo. So I used it for that kind of thing when I need a whole lot of gain and sustain, and that worked really well. I don't tend to mess with the EQs too much on each individual pedal. It's more about getting the drive kind of balanced. So if you haven't tried stacking pedals, I think it's a fantastic way of working. Like I said, one pedal will kind of almost excite the other pedal because it's hitting it kind of hard. The order of them changes things quite drastically, which is why I went this order, but you can do it the other way around too. That totally works, whatever works, right? My tendency usually is to have the lower gain to higher gain, but in this case it worked that way, so that's what I went with. Give it a try. It's really fun. Yeah, so if you like this, then please subscribe. It really helps, and like the video, all that stuff. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Like, if you agree and this is something you do, then let me know. I like to hear people's feedback on stuff. Buy me a coffee is linked below. If you want to get this FM9 preset that I'm using right now, you can just get that from there. I think it's like $10 or $5. It might be $5 on the Buy Me a Coffee. That's $5 New Zealand, which is like nothing American and nothing in the pound, right? Because New Zealand dollars. Nonetheless, go and grab it if you like the sound of that. And a couple of pedals into it. Pretty simple. Thanks so much. I'll play you out with some more stuff. This time I'm going to go with the OCD plus the Cusack Tubescreamer.